Hey guys, welcome back to another Sunday night show. Let's go right into it. Let's talk about the major theme that could impact your trading decisions for this week: Russia versus Ukraine, the war. In this case, this could have a very negative impact on the United States markets. Normally, war can be very profitable for the United States. Why is war oftentimes very profitable for the United States? It's simple. The government starts spending more money, starts buying more military equipment, supplies, basic supplies, guns, ammo, tanks, whatever. This fuels huge portions of vast industries.
About to go to war, invest in some nuclear bombs.
I think this time is very different because I think the United States might stay out of this other than threats of trading wars and things like that. I think the main reason this time is different is Russia controls a large amount of oil, and they have a huge impact on the global supply of oil. Thus, they have the ability to impact the price of oil. If there's one trade you guys should be watching this week beyond the market potentially dropping, it's the price of oil. Is it going to spike? Possibly yes, very, very much so, yes. So I'm definitely watching oil this week. Let's see where the action is there. But beyond that, this is a very negative catalyst because with higher oil prices, more people spend money on gas. They have less to spend on, discretionary spending. That's pretty negative for the market. So less buying on Lululemon. I can't buy myself no more yoga pants, no more nice shoes, no more Under Armour underwear. None of that shit. You guys need to keep that in mind with higher oil prices. On top of that, and this is actually the big one, Jerome Powell is already under a lot of pressure with the Federal Reserve of basically reducing inflation. Inflation number came out like 7.8% or something, 7.5. It doesn't matter. It's high as fuck. And they're under pressure right now. They got to bring that shit down. And on top of that, they're going to have oil prices really high. Oil is going to impact inflation greatly because everyone needs oil to do their job. Higher oil prices is a huge inflationary catalyst. And this might actually force the Fed to be like, all right, enough is enough. We got to raise rates. No more money printing, all that jazz. So this Russia versus Ukraine is actually pushing more pressure on the Fed to act because of the speculation that's happening already on the price of oil and could easily continue. Oil can easily crack $100 a barrel based on the price of, based on all the speculation that might be happening alone on this upcoming war. So we'll see. So normally war being very profitable, I don't see that is the case this time in the US financial markets. Just be very cognizant. The tape has been very weak with the overall S&P. I've been running the trade of shorting rallies as they rally very strong, covering them for into these dips that we keep having. S&P goes to 4,800, drops to like 44, 4,800, drops to 42, 4,600, drops to 43. Just pull up a chart at the S&P. We had a relative low on January 27th. There's a chance we could reach that. I didn't cover on Friday. It's the first time. My short position isn't massive. Let me just say what it is. It's 2 futures contracts and about 8 micro mini futures contracts on S&P. So 2 ES and about 8 micro ES. And I basically just cover the micros. That's it. I still have 2 futures contracts that are short the market right now. I'm not ready to add size to short positions yet, but we could finally see a break. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I think with the market failing to rally now on like 3 different occasions, the market has not been able to rally strong enough to offset the selling. It's kind of reminds me, if you guys ever read Reminiscences of a Stock Operator by Jesse Livermore, I read that like once a year at least, just because it's a great story, and it's relatively true. It's not by Jesse Livermore, it's about, about Jesse Livermore. Well, people think it is. But I feel like this is the part in the book where he keeps talking about the rallies just kept getting shallower and shallower. And he had made the decision to start shorting the market. And that's kind of what I feel like is happening here. I'm not going to short in size, but it's the first time I didn't take off all my short positions. In fact, I'm debating, depending on the price action this week, whether to add, but I need the market to break in order for me to add. There's a cool graphic actually about Jesse Livermore. I highly recommend you guys reading Reminiscences of a Stock Operator. But there's a chart, and the chart, there's kind of a layout of, and then there's some writing on the right. It says sell before, or test before selling short. And that's exactly where I feel like we're at right now. The test before a potential large size short selling position, short sold position. Anyway, enough ranting about the overall market with Russia versus Ukraine. That's something y'all need to keep in the back of your heads and prepare yourselves. Regardless, we still have earnings this week, and there's still room to make money on some of these earnings plays. The only non-earnings thing I'm watching this week is Facebook, whether or not it bounces. I had 2 trades on Facebook last week. They were both successful. I sold it around $228. It rallied a little bit further before dropping off again. I bought it around $217. Kind of what I was thinking last week. It's not that Netflix kind of bounce. And I noticed when it did sell off, it was just a straight bleed out, like with not a lot of buying in between. So be cognizant. I don't know if I'm gonna be buying another dip on Facebook without a much stronger price action happening. The stock has been kicked down and might stay down for some time. Let's go right into earnings this week. Tuesday, we have Airbnb and Baba. Those are the 2 names I'm watching. Wednesday, now Airbnb, I think this is an interesting stock to watch in your portfolio just because their price has been holding. I always thought Airbnb was overvalued, but their price has been pretty much holding. Everyone knows what Airbnb is. I shouldn't have to talk about that, but I think there's a lot of price action in earnings. So that's the number 1 stock I'm going to be watching on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have 2 really big names, Shopify and Nvidia. Nvidia basically dethroning Facebook's spot on the S&P, having a huge market cap. Both Shopify and Nvidia are great trades. Shopify is a stock that is relentless. It's been holding, and let's see where it's at right now. Sorry, it's, I forget the exact price with Shopify. Fucking Google, you piece of shit. Yeah, so I mean, Shopify was at like what, 1,600? Like in December 2021? And it has just cracked and broken. Okay, forget what I said about holding. I mean, I actually saw it at 800, and that was actually the last price I traded it at. This is where Jesse Livermore would have suggested the short sell. This stock right here. But let's watch it into earnings. It's been cut in half, you guys, from December till now. Jeez Louise, who the fuck would have thought? I gotta stop cursing, I'm sorry. But yeah, watch Shopify. Negate anything I said about Shopify, my goodness. This is a huge drop. And then we have Nvidia. I think you can trade Shopify before Wednesday. There's gonna be a lot of action based on how much it's already dropped. Nvidia is such a huge stock. This thing just keeps going higher. So I'm watching Nvidia. Jensen Huang has never been wrong. And yeah, I mean, Nvidia sold off a bit. It was at 333 back in November, but I don't know if I'm gonna be buying it here as an investment. It's much more of a trade for me. But I mean, look at it. If you look at it over a 5-year span, you can see how much that stock has really moved. It's made a lot of people very, very, very wealthy. Anyway, next I want to talk about Baidu and QuantumScape. Those are the 2 smaller names. QuantumScape being sold off very heavily, and Baidu being a Chinese name that's also gotten beat up. So all these names I'm watching into earnings. Tech, man, a lot of these tech names have been broken down a lot. On Thursday, we have Palantir and we have Roku. Roku's another name. It was at like 420 bucks a few months back, and I was like, what the hell is happening with Roku? It's another name that I'm potentially watching as it's continued to bleed out. Palantir, don't even get me started with Palantir. I've lost so much money on Palantir, but you know what? It's an investment for me, Palantir. That's what I keep saying to myself at night. It helps dry the tears at night when I cry. So yeah, I mean, those are the two names I'm watching, Palantir and Roku. You know, with Palantir, I tried to apply for a job there. I used to work in that industry. This was a while back in the tech sector. This is kind of how I know the name. Palantir only hires like the smartest people. They told me I was way too dumb to work there. And when I asked them why I was so dumb to work there, they started pulling up some of my YouTube videos, and then I realized what they were talking about. And then lastly, Shack on Thursday. Those are the big names: Palantir, Roku, Shack. Roku being the huge sell-off, Palantir being a huge sell-off, and Shack making some of the juiciest fucking burgers on the planet. That's it for Thursday. Friday, we got DraftKings, huge gaming company, another company. All the big names this week have all sold off so massively. So, what are you guys gonna do about it? I'm gonna try to make some money. I hope some of these stocks bounce so I can buy them and then sell them a few minutes later. But we'll see. Anyway, that's it for me this week. Watch the overall market, Russia versus Ukraine. We could see the market as a whole bleed out. Don't matter, start trading some of these names, and then hopefully you come out this week ahead. That's all I got. Till next Sunday. I just want